Hello everyone, welcome to Rather Good English. I'm Katy and I'm here with my lovely co-host James in our London studio. Though honestly it's more like my living room table with a couple of microphones.
Hey, don't give away our secrets, Katy. I'm James, and yes, we are indeed sitting in Katy's living room. Perfect setup for today's chat because we're talking about something so many of our listeners ask us about. What's it actually like moving to the UK?
Oh my goodness, yes! Just yesterday I got 3 messages about this. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this because my friend Maria just moved here from Spain last month and the stories she's been telling me. But before we start, please do subscribe if you're enjoying these episodes. We love making them, so the likes and subscribers we get give us so much motivation.
Absolutely. So how's Maria finding it? Because I remember when I first moved to London from Manchester about 8 years ago, even that was a massive culture shock, and that's within the same country.
Wait, you've never told me that story. What was the biggest shock for you coming from Manchester?
Honestly, the rent prices nearly gave me a heart attack. I was paying £600 a month for a lovely flat in up there, and suddenly I'm looking at £1,200 for something the size of a shoebox in Zone 3 London.
Oh my word, that's exactly what Maria said. She was like, Katy, I could rent a palace in Barcelona for what I'm paying for this tiny room in Clapham. But tell me, was it worth it in the end?
Absolutely, but it took time to adjust. The thing is, London salaries are higher too, so it kind of balanced out. Plus, the opportunities here are incredible.
That's such a good point. People always focus on the costs, but forget about the salary difference. What about day-to-day expenses? Like, I remember being shocked when I first moved to London and paid £4.50 for a coffee.
£4.50? You're being ripped off. Though to be fair, in central London, yeah, that's about right. But here's a tip. Find your local Greasy Spoon cafe. I've got one near me that does brilliant coffee for £2 and a full English breakfast for £6. Absolute bargain.
Oh, I love those places. That's so British, isn't it? The Greasy Spoon. Maria was confused by that term. It just means local cafe. But speaking of food costs, my weekly shop is about £50-60 for one person. Is that what you'd expect?
Yeah, that sounds about right for Tesco or Sainsbury's. But you know what I discovered? Aldi and Lidl, complete game changers. I can do my weekly shop for £35-40 there, and the quality is brilliant. My German flatmate put me onto that.
Oh, flatmates. That's another thing, isn't it? House sharing is so normal here. I lived in a house share for 3 years when I first moved to London. Actually made some of my best friends that way.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving money, though that helps. I was paying £650 a month for a room in a 4-bed house in Brixton, bills included. But the social aspect was brilliant. My housemates taught me everything about London life.
That reminds me, we haven't even mentioned transport costs. James, didn't you have a funny story about getting an Oyster card?
Oh God, yes. I spent my first week buying paper tickets because I didn't know about Oyster cards. Spent about 60 on transport that week when it should have cost me 30. The ticket office person finally took pity on me and explained the whole system.
Bless, that's so typical though. Now it's all contactless anyway. Just tap your phone or card. But 30 a week, that's about £150 monthly, depending on your zones. Not cheap, but you can get everywhere without a car.
And that's the beauty of it. I haven't owned a car in 8 years. Everything's connected. Though I have to say, the Northern Line at rush hour is something special. And by special, I mean absolutely horrendous.
Ha! You know what though, not everywhere in the UK is London. That's something people don't realise. James, you lived in Edinburgh. It's completely different up there, isn't it?
Completely. Edinburgh's gorgeous, much more manageable size-wise. You can walk across the city centre in 20 minutes. Rent's about half what you'd pay in London. Plus, the scenery is incredible. Castle views everywhere.
I love Edinburgh. And what about somewhere like Manchester? I've got friends who moved there and absolutely love it.
Manchester's brilliant, amazing music scene, fantastic nightlife, proper friendly people, and so much cheaper than London. My mate Tom moved there from London, got a 2-bedroom flat for £800 a month. In London, that would get you half a kitchen cupboard.
Half a kitchen cupboard? You're terrible. But seriously, that's the thing about the UK. Each city has its own personality. Like Bristol, where my cousin lives, has this amazing creative vibe. Loads of street art, music festivals.
And Banksy. Don't forget Banksy's from Bristol, but you're right about each city having character. Birmingham's got incredible diversity. Best curry mile outside India. Liverpool's got this amazing maritime history and the friendliest people you'll ever meet.
Speaking of friendly people, that brings up something interesting, making friends. I found British people quite reserved at first. Did you experience that coming from Scotland?
Funny you mention that because Scots are generally more direct than Londoners. I found Londoners polite but careful. Like, they won't invite you home after knowing you for 5 minutes, whereas in Glasgow, you might end up at someone's house party on the same night you meet them.
That's so true. But once you break through that initial barrier, British friendships are incredibly loyal. How did you end up building your social circle here?
The pub, honestly. I joined my local pub quiz team and that was it. Suddenly, I had this group of people I saw every Tuesday night. We'd go for drinks after, started hanging out on weekends. The pub is like Britain's community centre.
We covered the pub in the last episode, didn't we? It's such a great place to meet people. But you don't even have to be good at it to join a quiz team. My team comes last every week, but we have such a laugh. Plus, you learn the most random British trivia.
Yes! Like, knowing that a Cornish pasty has to be made in Cornwall to be legally called a Cornish pasty. Absolutely crucial life knowledge. But seriously, what other ways did you meet people?
Sports clubs were massive for me. I joined a netball team through meetup.com. Terrible player, but loved the social aspect. And volunteering. I helped at a local food bank once a week, met some amazing people who really cared about their community.
That's lovely. And it shows you something brilliant about British culture, how much people volunteer. We love our community spirit. Though I have to warn people about one thing, British weather conversations are real.
Oh my goodness, yes, I had a 20-minute conversation about drizzle with my neighbour yesterday. But you know what? The weather isn't as bad as people think. Sure, it rains a lot, but it's not torrential downpours constantly.
Exactly. It's more like atmospheric drizzle. Very moody and romantic actually. And summer can be gorgeous. Last year we had that heat wave where it hit 32 degrees and the whole country basically shut down because nobody has air conditioning.
I remember that. Everyone was buying fans from Argos and they sold out everywhere. We're just not designed for proper heat. But winter's not too harsh either. It rarely goes below freezing. It's just the early darkness that gets me.
Oh, the 3:30 p.m. sunsets in December are brutal. I invested in one of those light therapy lamps. Bit weird sitting under a bright light eating breakfast, but it actually helps. Plus, vitamin D supplements are essential.
Yes, everyone should know that. But you know what makes up for the dark winters? Spring here is absolutely magical. All the daffodils and cherry blossoms. I walk through Greenwich Park in April and feel like I'm in a fairy tale.
Greenwich Park, that's near you, isn't it? See, that's another brilliant thing about London. So many parks and green spaces. People don't realise how green London is. Richmond Park, Hampstead Heath, Regent's Park.
And most are completely free. That was something that surprised me. So many attractions and activities that don't cost anything. Most museums, galleries, parks, even some concerts and festivals.
That's such a good point. The British Museum, Tate Modern, National Gallery, all free entry. In many countries, you'd pay 20 plus for those experiences. Really makes up for the high rent when you think about it.
Speaking of making up for things, let's talk about the NHS. That was something that really surprised me when I first moved here. Free healthcare. Coming from a country where you might avoid going to the doctor because of costs.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's not perfect. You might wait a few weeks for non-urgent appointments, but emergency care is immediate and excellent. And prescriptions are just £9.35, regardless of what medication you need.
Such peace of mind, knowing you won't go bankrupt if you get sick. And the education system, if you're moving with kids, state schools are generally really good, especially primary schools.
My sister moved here with her kids, and she was amazed by how nurturing and supportive the teachers were. Small class sizes, loads of after-school activities. Her kids settled in brilliantly.
That's lovely. Now, let's be honest about the challenges, though. What was the hardest part of your move from Scotland?
Honestly, the bureaucracy nearly broke me. Opening a bank account was like solving a puzzle. You need proof of address, but you can't get proof of address without a bank account. I felt like screaming.
Oh, that catch-22. I helped Maria with this exact problem last month. We ended up getting a letter from her landlord and using digital bank like Monzo, which was much more flexible with documents.
Smart. I wish I'd known about digital banks back then. But you know what else hit me? Homesickness. Even though I was only a few hours from home, I missed my mum's Sunday roasts, the familiar accents, just home, you know?
Oh, homesickness is so real, Maria cried for the first month, missing her family's paella nights. But you know what's brilliant about the UK? The diversity means you can find a bit of home everywhere.
Absolutely. I found a proper Scottish butcher in Islington who makes haggis exactly like my gran used to, and there are communities from everywhere. Polish shops, Turkish restaurants, Nigerian churches. It's like the whole world in one country.
That diversity is something special, and people are generally really accepting of different accents, cultures, ways of doing things. You don't feel like you have to hide who you are.
Though you do need to understand our weird cultural quirks, like how we apologize when someone else bumps into us, or how we say quite nice when we mean absolutely terrible.
The understatement thing is so true, and our obsession with queuing. Maria was amazed that we form orderly lines for everything, buses, shops, even coffee stands at festivals.
And never, ever push in. That's social suicide. We might not say anything to your face, but we'll tut disapprovingly and talk about it for weeks. British passive aggression at its finest.
The tutting. Oh my goodness, yes. And let's not forget our relationship with tea. Offering someone a cup of tea is basically our way of saying, I care about you and want to solve all your problems.
Tea is the solution to everything. Bad day at work, cup of tea. Relationship problems, cup of tea. Nuclear apocalypse. Well, let's put the kettle on and have a think about it over a nice brew.
You're making me want a cup right now. But seriously, James, looking back on your 8 years here, what would you tell someone who's thinking about making the move?
Do your research, save up plenty of money, and have realistic expectations. The first year is tough. Everything's expensive, bureaucracy's a nightmare, and you'll feel overwhelmed. But stick with it, because year 2 is when the magic happens.
That's such good advice. And remember, you don't have to live in London. There are amazing opportunities all across the UK, often with much better value for money and quality of life.
Exactly. And learn to love the quirks, the weather conversations, the queue culture, the understatement, the tea obsession. Once you embrace it all, you might find that Britain becomes home in ways you never expected.
Beautifully said. Well, that's been such a lovely chat, hasn't it? I feel like we could talk about this for hours. Maybe we should do a follow-up episode about specific cities.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. We could get some guests on who've moved to different cities. Right, if you've enjoyed our little chat today, please give us a like and subscribe to Rather Good English.
Yes, please do. And if you have questions about moving to the UK or you want to share your own experiences, leave them in the comments. We genuinely read every single one, and your stories might help someone else taking that brave leap.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this rather good chat about moving to the UK. I'm James, and I'm off to put the kettle on.
And I'm Katy. Thanks for listening. Keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time. Now, James, make me a proper builder's brew.